Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown,
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Good Saturday morning to everybody, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you for a couple hours to get your Saturday morning started. We're glad that you're joining us wherever it is that you're joining us out there. 256-234-6221 has been the number, 18 years?
That's been it, man.
If we get that number screwed up at this point, we probably go ahead and exit out. But anyway, good to see you this morning, Scott, as we are rapidly approaching the start of football season. I know that's crazy to talk about, but when we get past 4th of July, that's what we do. And we look forward to and set our sights to high school and college. And, I hadn't sent this to you yet, but last night I saw somebody post this map that somebody put up of all the Alabama high school.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
see how that kind of breaks out by county and see how many schools are represented. And they did it by logo and all. But, 7-on-7 camps are going on right now. I know Benjamin Russell is at the Hoover camp, which continues today. They started yesterday. I think they went 3-2 in their pool play and lost one of their games that they lost was by 2 points. So was really a play from being 4-1 in their pool. Had a loss to Enterprise. I think has a really good chance maybe to win the camp up there. And they played them tough, but I think it was like 21-11 or something like that. I don't know the exact score, but we know Eric Winters is on that team loaded. I mean, Enterprise really, maybe a dark horse this year in 7A football. So we'll talk some more about that, Scott, as we move along here on the program. But, we'll start looking at schedules of teams around this area. When we dive into the college hour in hour number 2, or as we get closer to that, we'll talk about these SEC schedules as we start looking at the teams and who's got the hardest schedule, who's got maybe the easier schedule, what some of the rankings are out there as far as what we went over yesterday, in case anybody missed it, recruiting composite rankings out there. That's important. And it also, when you look at recruiting composite rankings, Scott, it tells you a lot about who did more with less and who did less with more. Unfortunately, Auburn's been in the did less with more. They've had a pretty doggone good recruiting classes. Not, top 3 to 5 or 7, but, they've been in the top 10, top 15. But then there's other schools in the SEC that have done way better. And Auburn's not the only one that's underperformed. There's several others that have, but we'll talk about that. But, man, we'll start in high school. I talked about this last week, Scott. There were 96 coaching availabilities this time, and there's still some schools out there looking for coaches right now. I think it's down to 3 or 4. But have you heard? I don't think Coosa's hired a head coach yet. So we talked about the coaching carousel yesterday, again last Saturday. But we went through some of these 94 coaching changes. There are still 3 coaching availabilities left. So, not saying that you're in panic mode a little bit, but if you look at it, you're sitting here midway through July, you got summer's almost over, and then you're about to start school in a few weeks. You got to be trying to figure something out.
Yeah, and Benjamin Russell went through something similar a couple of years ago.
That was early June.
And that felt like a panic. So I can't imagine what some of these schools that are still dealing with a vacancy have to go through right now. But hopefully you get it worked out, especially for the kids. You want them to have an opportunity to play and be as successful as possible. And regardless of what the records may say, high school athletics is very important and provides a lot of different avenues and platforms for these kids. So hopefully these schools can figure out, but especially for a team in our local coverage area, the Cougars, hopefully they'll be able to get this situated pretty quickly.
Yeah, no doubt. Just to look back before we dive into some of these schedules moving into this coming season, which is just a few weeks away, plus media days going on, by the way, right here on this channel. Statewide had one media day this past Thursday. I did catch a little bit. I saw a little bit of Cordova's press conference. This coming up week, we got All-Star Sports Week, the coaching clinic in Montgomery, all the north-south games will be going on except for football, because football's been moved now to December with the Alabama-Mississippi game. But basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, tennis, all of it will be going on this coming up week down in Montgomery. And the coaching clinics will, lots of great college football coaches will be coming in the seminars, conducting seminars for all the high school coaches, and they'll have the rules clinic and all that kind of stuff. But this will be the first unofficial start for Heath Harmon, the new executive director for the AHSAA. He and I talked briefly this week via email. So I haven't met him yet, so looking forward to meeting him. Alvin Briggs will not officially leave until September. So Alvin will be there as well. So looking forward to seeing him as he gets ready to head off into retirement and, end his career. But again, it's an exciting week. When you get to All-Star, no practice, nothing. It's kind of the dead week. And then when you come back from that, you're really ramping things up and getting ready to start.
Yeah, and again, this is a very exciting time of the year when we get to start the process of high school athletics starting again. It seems like every year we're talking about how we can't wait for it to get here, and then it's ending, and then we're in the all season getting ready to start back again.
Just a big old cycle.
Yeah, it is. But I think the state of Alabama, every year kind of we think that this is a top tier class or good group of kids, and it is. But I mean, I'm very excited to see some of the state's best products this year, and a lot of them are underclassmen too. So that right. is making it even better and lets you know the future pedigree of what we have here in the state.
Well, since we're about to preview the season, how did last year finish up for everybody? Just to kind of remind everybody, and we'll go 1A through 7A. Leroy in football. This is football, by the way. Championship games last year, which also, by the way, just a kind of a note in case anybody did not see a few weeks ago that Auburn and Alabama are out in the rotation now. So the state championships, the Super 7, will not be going through Jordan-Hare and Bryant-Denny any longer because of the college football playoff. And, there are other colleges that are looking at getting in the rotation right now, but currently the permanent home will be a Protective Field in Birmingham, and it's a great place to have it. One Super 7 already been there, so this coming up year will be the second one to have there, but it's a great venue. It fits, it's more intimate, but it's a nice stadium, and they hosted, they were really, really good hosts. So don't know where the future of the other sites might be. Maybe Troy, maybe Jacksonville State. No, Jacksonville State's interested. Maybe, a North Alabama or South Alabama or whoever, but somebody will probably jump in there and be part of that rotation. Last year it was Leroy knocking off Coosa Christian in 1A, 28-21. Again, you think about some of these schools, Scott, how many of these in your mind, as we're reading these out, do you think could repeat and be, repeat champions from last year? Fife knocked off Reeltown 43-24, a very good Reeltown team from right here in our local area. But Fife is returning their best player again. Man, they steamrolled everybody. Paul Benefield has a machine going up in North Alabama. And, man, that 2A to me is just somebody's going to have to play out of their mind to knock them off. And they've had a couple regular season losses here in the last few years. I know that's kind of crazy to say, but they also have the most consecutive weeks in the top 10 right now at 164 weeks and 321 consecutive games for Fife scoring some kind of points. So just tells you what kind of program he's got up there.
Yeah, and, you know, we're talking about people playing out of their minds, and that real-time team last year was one of the best that Matt Johnson's had since he's been there, and one of the best teams they've had in a while. And
young. They have some young players.
And they'll probably have a good opportunity to make a run for it again, but Fife's just – they're tough, man, and you have to think that going into the season that they're probably the front runner to take 2A again.
Well, they're just so physical. I mean, that's the thing, you know, that Fife concentrates on, and it really is no secret. When you look at Fife come out of the locker room and they come on the field and you watch them play, you're like, how do they do this every year? Because it's not very complex what they do up front and running the football. I mean, and you know which way. I mean, by alignment, it's not like they're disguising a lot of stuff. They just look at you and go, look, you know what? You know I'm about to run it right there. I know we're about to run it right there, and there ain't nothing you can do. And they just wear you down.
I think that's the key thing with them is from a mental standpoint, when you know where they're going and they're still getting 7, 8, 10, 12 yards of carry, and they drive it down on you. And for a team to – have that style of offense still put up the type of points that they do too is just it's unreal too.
Yeah, but they get you in the second half and you're so worn out. Those 3-yard runs become 10-yard runs, then they become 18-yard runs, and then then every time they touch it's about 20 to 25, and it's like, man, the white flag has been thrown in. We're up against a break. We'll come back. We'll recap the rest of the Super 7 from last year, just to give you a recap heading into this season. Let's talk about some of these schedules, talk about some of these camps that are going on, and who some of the favorites will be, and some of these coaching changes. We only hit a couple of them last Saturday. We'll go back through some big programs, got new guys at the top. So we'll talk about that when we come back. So everybody stay tuned. Just getting started here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Why don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control, with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or at Montgomery 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Good friend John says, where's breakfast this morning at Lake Martin? Where you at, John? Are you bringing us something? Hey, you see where we are. But no, maybe the taste of the Lake Martin area every Saturday morning. Do a little around the county.
I like to eat.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look around up at this place. You're not the only one. So, yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool to have, taste of the town, taste of the county. John, help us out there, man. You might want to do a delivery service for us. But anyway, hey, man, just call it. I don't think anybody shies. I don't think anybody up here is saying they don't like to eat. I mean, am I wrong?
No, I think that's pretty accurate.
I mean, shoot. I mean, it just is what it is. But anyway, yeah, John, give us a little plan there for that, and we have a good time. All right, so high school football talked about 1A and 2A. Scott, and looking back at the 3A championship, Mobile Christian over Madison Academy, 55-28, two private schools. 3A and 4A, really big private schools classifications. You see, an addition of teams coming over from AHSAA this year too, with the way the multiplier lays out, and it puts a lot of private schools in that bracket, based on enrollment and then the multiplier that they have to add in for being a private school. Because you see in 4A, Montgomery Catholic finally gets over the hump. They knock off Cherokee County 35-0. Now, Cherokee County's quarterback was hurt going into that game, which, you make it that far, and then you lose your quarterback in the semifinals. That's a tough one. They tried. They hung in there. Look, the score was a lot worse than the actual game was. I mean, in the third quarter, I think it was 14-0. But Cherokee County just couldn't move the football. And they had a good football team. So they did all they could, hung in there. But Montgomery Catholic finally gets over the hump. They've been getting there, for the last several years. Or at least, I think, from a record standpoint, and I've got it right here in front of me, they have the longest regular season winning streak right now, 34 games. So really running through the regular season, they get to the playoffs and have a fumble, basically, for no pun intended. But finally made the run and got through the whole they've had players like Jeremiah Cobb and several other guys that, just felt like it was a destiny for them to get to the state championship game, didn't even make it. So end up winning the state championship. I don't see them going anywhere.
Nah, they really, I mean, outside of maybe a Thompson and then maybe include Fife, like they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, obviously what we've seen from the regular season, but been the 2 or 3 state championship games, get that one done. So it's I don't see them going anywhere either. I think that they're there for a while.
No, I agree with you. 5A Gulf Shores, 21-14 over Ramsey. Gulf Shores moves up to 6A. You talk about a team not going anywhere. It's only going to get stronger. And look, I hate to say it, but they got players flowing in from every direction. And look, you can say what you want to, but they're building a brand new high school down there, like we're building one here in Alex City. And there's just a lot of hype around that program right now. Every sport seems to be on the up and up. And Scott, I remember the days where Gulf Shores was the doormat down there. I mean, they were getting beat 48-0, 56-7. I mean, they were just getting their doors blown off, and got a great coach, dadgum, man, they've got a college coaching staff down there, seriously. When your defensive coordinator's coached at the Atlanta Falcons, at Auburn and Notre Dame, and he's the D coordinator, he's not the head coach, you got a pretty good staff. So they knocked off a very good Ramsey team. Talking about a team that has been able to make it there and been another team that seems year in and year out to just put up a great record is Ramsey. And that was a great football game. Ronnie Royal seemed to be the difference in that game, running the football. But Gulf Shores won at 21-14. They do take a step up in classification to go to 6A. All right, 6A, Clay Chalkville knocked off Saraland in one of the better games that we've called. 31-28, it came down to the very end. KJ Lacey was running to score to win the game, and a great tackle right there at the goal line. And you look at the way that game played out and how many great players, but DJ Barber, who goes to Auburn, comes out of nowhere and makes a game-saving tackle for Clay Chalkville. And you see the star-studded talent that was in that game. Unfortunately for us as Auburn fans, the two best players in that game headed up to Tuscaloosa. But big change for Clay Chalkville is they lose Drew Gilmer. Drew Gilmer heads over to Hoover. That's one of those coaching changes we're talking about. Drew Gilmer has won 2 state championships in the last 3 years at Clay Chalkville. Jerry Hood won one, I think, back in 14. So they've won 3 state championships here in the last, 10 or 12 years, if my memory serves me correct. And now they have a former player that will be taking over as coach. It comes over from I think, I can't remember right off the top of my head. I could pull it up, but comes over and it feels right. Feels like he'll step in, and Clay Chalkville's always been a force there in 6A. But we'll see. Without Drew Gilmer change and losing who they lost this past year off that team, we'll see if they're able to repeat.
Yeah, and I think that Drew going over to Hoover will be a good opportunity for him, and he's shown what his capabilities are. But Clay Chalkville, another one of those teams, for the most part, they've been in contention, as you said, for the last decade or so. And so, anytime you can put 3 chips up in a decade, you're doing something right, especially in 6A,
especially in that area.
Yeah, true.
I mean, just getting it done. Patrick said good morning to us. He said been hearing some good things about BRHS. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Patrick called it or not, but up at Hoover, 3-2 in pool play yesterday was basically a 2-point conversion away from being 4-1. And the one loss, and it wasn't lopsided, but the one loss that had was a couple score difference was Enterprise. So Enterprise, again, I feel like in one of the roughest regions in the state kind of gets overlooked sometimes. They got a great football team down there. They got a couple of really good prospects on that team. Eric Winters is committed to Auburn. The defensive end's committed to Ohio State. They've got some players on that team. So
real quick, yeah. And I know we'll catch it on the break, but I do want to talk about Ohio State and how they've started to kind of penetrate.
It's penetrate. They have. It's been the march south.
Yeah,
I mean they're trying to take the state of Alabama over. And look, it's no secret the state of Alabama has exceptional talent for the size of state and they know how important high school football is here in the state of Alabama. And I mean, per capita, man, the state of Alabama pushes out as good a talent as any state in the country, and that includes Texas and Florida. And we just don't have as many, but we have as good a top-tier talent as they do year in and year out. And another thing that seems to be a draw, and I know we got to get to break, but another thing that seems to be a draw is our 4 stars and 3 stars aren't created the same as a 4-star, 3-star up in Iowa. Or out, in the Midwest or up northeast. They know that a 4-star down here is probably like a 5-star somewhere else, and a 3-star here is like a 4-star somewhere else because of the brand of football that's played here, the passion, the work that gets done, and being here in the heart of the South. And Ohio State, just like Michigan and some of these other teams up north, know they've got to come down here and get, their fair share of players if they want to compete for championships. Bigger, faster, stronger. You can say whatever you want to say, but it is what it is. And that's why I think that's a draw. They know how much importance is placed on football here in the state of Alabama at the high school level, so they know they're getting some really good players down here. Patrick also said KJ Lacey knew Auburn commit in the future. Well, it seems that way. It just seems that's the direction Auburn's going. We'll dive into that on the second hour or maybe here in a few segments. But it seems like the Juju Lewis ship maybe has sailed. Don't know if there was ever a ship, with him. I mean, with kids like that, and it's no offense to him, he's just holding people hostage. And he's shopping around and doing what he's got to do and taking advantage of it. But at the end of the day, I think you got a great kid, called his games several times in the last couple of years. He is a tremendous athlete. I think he's he's a four-star quarterback. It's not like he's a hidden gem or something, but I don't think he gets the adequate press. He's committed to Texas right now. I don't think he ends up going there because you look at the lineage of quarterbacks at Texas right now. I mean, Ewer's back this year, and you would think Arch Manning is waiting in the wings for at least 2 years. KJ Lacey just feels right here in Alabama to maybe commit to Auburn and closer to home. Hey, look, it's a great get for Auburn. Look, I don't want Auburn fans to go, crap, we didn't get Juju Lewis. You really need to think about this from a skill set standpoint. KJ Lacey can do it all. I mean, he's not a run first guy, but he can run when he needs to, and he's got a great arm, and he can make all the great throws.
And he's a winner.
Absolutely.
That means something to me too.
And he's on a mission this year coming back for Saraland. He knows he came up a yard short, and it wasn't just him, but he probably relives that play every day. And everything he's doing in all seasons to work to get back to that opportunity to maybe capitalize and finish his senior year with a state title. So, all right, got some other comments coming in. We're going to hit those up on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best-kept secret, an affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552, 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
At Team One Hyundai, it's the Summer Savings Sales Event. All new Hyundais will be sold at employee pricing, plus an unheard of $1,000 bonus for your trade-in. See our huge selection of new and pre-owned inventory at team1hyundai.com. Don't miss the summer savings with employee pricing plus a $1,000 bonus for your trade. Team One Hyundai of Gadsden, where the experience exceeds your expectations.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Let's get to some of these comments. Glenn said the kid loves Texas. KJ Lacey. Well, I mean, he's been committed to him for a while, Glenn, but, you know, things change in the world of college football, and it just feels like a shift. And, Glenn, y'all got plenty of quarterbacks, by the way, so it's not like if KJ Lacey decides to stay in the state of Alabama that you guys don't have a plethora of quarterbacks to pick from out there. So, you know, really tells you a lot about Arch Manning. Could have easily gotten in portal this year. Going to play behind Quinn Ewers. Thought he had a good spring. He's going to stick it out one more year. Hey, I'm proud to see it. I mean, go be the guy there and wait your turn. You know, we've lost that in this world of college football now. If you come in, like, wherever Juju land, if he goes to Indiana, of course, he can start for the next 10 years because they never get another quarterback like that. And if he goes to Colorado, he knows he's going to be, you know, Shedeur Sanders is going to be passing the keys to him next year. So he kind of feels like he's the one that's touted there. The lure for Juju Lewis to Auburn, playing in the SEC, maybe a little better roster than those two schools and getting better as we continue on. The star-studded group of receivers Auburn has right now, and, you know, still in the mix for Cunningham and some guys like that. And, you know, I really, truly think Juju Lewis likes Auburn, but I think his dad, and I saw a comment down here from somebody else I'll get to, that, you know, his dad's kind of, as Patrick said, Juju's father kind of holding schools hostage. Well, they're playing this game to the ultimate. Now, he's committed to USC. A lot of people forget that. But it seems more of a Colorado-ish feel. Will Deion Sanders even be there next year?
I mean, we were talking about
when
that. When
Shedeur walks out the door, you don't think he's – and, boy, you talk about what he's leaving behind. What he rolled into was bad, but he's going to leave a trail worse by the time he leaves. I mean, I think that program will be destroyed.
Yeah,
by the time he walks out.
You hate to see that, but with Juju, even if you are that talented, and he's talented. Now I don't know if
but
he's
he also
$1.5 million
you could bust as easy as anything.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. I mean, and so that's the thing. That's the other part when, you know, we continuously talk about it with NIL, but now, and we'll talk about the Supreme Court ruling as well, but how the return on investment has to be there now. What does that mean if it isn't, and, you know, what's the ramifications from a player standpoint? So, again, you can look at you can tell us all about the money based off of what is kind of the schools that he's surrounded, not Auburn per se, but for a school like Indiana to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
You say, okay, they've decided they're going to try to pony up and pay and try to get their one guy and see what happens from there. But, you know, good luck to him. If Auburn were to land,
I'm tired of it. I mean, to be honest with you, look, I'm sitting up here telling you today, would we love to have him? Absolutely. Would it make a splash? No doubt. Headlines, commit to Auburn, in the SEC. But, dude, at some point in time, you just got to move on. And I think the coaching staff has tried to do what they can, and they continue to hold. I think they tried to really close the deal 2 weeks ago, and I don't think they got any closer. So I think Coach Free said, look, okay, we're here if you want to do this and want to come back to the table, but we're going to have to move on. And you got Big Cat Weekend coming up. And, again, we'll talk more about this in the second hour. You got Big Cat Weekend coming up. I really feel like last year was the momentum push. You know, Perry Thompson, you had Malcolm, you had a lot that went on that weekend that kind of made that class what it was and kind of got the momentum going in the right direction. Auburn's hoping to get a couple of big names to commit that weekend again, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks. Would KJ Lacey be one of those flips? We saw Perry Thompson flip that on that weekend. Could you get another big name from whether it be a defensive lineman or another wide receiver, somebody who you don't know. I mean, there was a lot of surprises, and I think this coaching staff is building up for that. And if he gets in there, maybe KJ Lacey comes in and flips his commitment and says, "I'm the quarterback, I'm coming," and now you feel good about because you got Walker White. You got KJ Lacey possibly. If that happens, you just feel good about that. Glenn said, I don't know who Ohio State has recruiting Alabama, but they're killing it. That's what Scott was just talking about, the march into the state of Alabama by Ohio State. Says Texas really needs to start recruiting Alabama more. I
think the shift to the SEC, I think that changes the perception.
Well, it does with SEC. Media days are in Dallas now, which is odd. Because not even SEC school in Dallas, right? So, but just being in that market is huge, and I think that's what the SEC is trying to say. Look, we're trying to move out here, and then you got those schools trying to move over here. It's just a lot of transition going on. Trey said, I think we have 2 5-stars at BRHS. I totally agree with you. They're both young. I mean, Sedarian unequivocally will be a 5-star if things continue to go in the direction they're going. He's the number 2 receiver or number 2 player in the state of Alabama, and the number, or is it number 2 or number 4?
I think number 4
in the country. Yeah, and which I mean, he's going to get better. You got Caleb Spivey, who will be a sophomore, who has not even begun to form into what I think he's going to form into, and I think he's a 4-star now. And he's going to wreak havoc this year with teams, and who knows how big he ends up being. Really came on the second half of the year as a freshman and was about unblockable last year. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we got other comments coming in. We'll get to those. On the flip side, continue this discussion. We're going to dive into media days. We got a ton to get to before the show's over today. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Camp. I mean, just call it like it is, man. I mean, it is what it is. All right, so getting back to some of these comments, Glenn said he thinks, Caleb and Sedarian will see triple teams the whole season. Well, if they get triple teams, if we don't have some guys that can make some plays, I hope they triple team. That opens up a lot of opportunities for other guys. I like the quarterback situation we have. The first time we'll have a new quarterback in 3 years. You got to think about that. Gabe Benton, a 3-year starter. You don't get that very often anywhere. Like KJ Lacey will be a 3-year starter at Saraland this year. Gabe Benton was that caliber quarterback, as far as his size, ability to make plays, and won a lot of games as a starting quarterback, put up great numbers. Elijah Johnson will be a different style quarterback, but skill set wise, I think he's got everything you got to have. He's got a strong arm. He's mobile. You got a majority of the offensive line back. You do lose, a star-studded group of receivers, but you've got some guys coming back. You got some younger guys. You got Sedarian Morgan that'll be anchoring that. And you got a 1,100-yard rusher in the backfield. You got a couple other running backs that are going to be really good back there. So I know we're kind of getting off topic just talking about Ben Russell, but we got some questions about that and kind of comparison. Look, schedule's tougher. There's no doubt. But that you kind of look at it from a standpoint. Region games are what gets you to the playoffs, and you gotta continue to build and get better. I don't know what the record be. Nobody does. You just got to go out and play the games. And looking forward to having Opelika back on the schedule. It's a renewable rivalry. I mean, we've got a rivalry going now with Central Clay, and Danny Horn sitting there 4 wins from the top of the most wins of all time in the state. Just 4 behind Terry Curtis down at UMS, and 51st season for Terry Curtis at UMS, right? Gosh, or 52, maybe 52 this year.
That in itself is just that's a long time doing.
And then you got Paul Benefield. I think Coach Horn and Paul Benefield are tied at 351, and then you've got Terry Curtis at 355. So all 3 of them going to keep winning. I mean, that's not stopping anytime soon. Coach Horn, I talked to him this week. Hopefully have him on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show in a couple of weeks to kind of preview their season. They've got a really talented running back coming back, suffered a season-ending injury last year at the end, but they expect big things out of him. And, they just put a great team on the field every year. I know Coach Torn he'll talk about all the deficiencies and how they're going to struggle to get by, and then you'll look up and they'll be 10-0. So heading into the playoffs. So, but looking forward to having him on. It's always fun. Real Town, Matt Johnson, just kind of talking about this area here. Going to put another great product on the field. Jeremy Phillips and Horseshoe Bend feel better about their situation this year.
I really think this is a playoff opportunity.
Well, I mean, they had a change in, things kind of got mixed up in the reclassification. Look, reclassification can be a new hope or it can be, oh, Lord, you know, depending on how it goes for you. Well, Horseshoe Bend's been in the oh, Lord, playing with Highland Home and all those that, you know, that schedule is just brutal. I mean, let's just be honest. And so, yeah, some very winnable games on the schedule for Horseshoe Bend. And, you know, Jeremy's worked hard since he's been there to try to establish a winning culture, and he's still working to get there. The Dayville Tigers, you got a brand new head coach in Chad McKelvey, former player. I think I don't know that they could have gone out and found a better fit. You know, he has never been a head coach, but he's been offensive coordinator for them for a long time previous to him taking an administrative role. Now he comes out of that role and will be the head football coach, and nobody's going to work harder or make those kids work harder than him.
They seem to have a little moment. I mean,
they got some good players.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some good players on that team on both sides of the ball. Dave always has good athletes. Chad will implement a system that's best for them, and you know, look, they're going to be competitive. So I think a good get there for them, and there's a good buzz in that community about the football team right now. I feel good about Benjamin Russell. Don't know what the results of the schedule will be. I think they're definitely a playoff team. They won the region last year. They, you know, got an addition of Spain Park into this region, which will be tough. But I don't think that you know, that there's anybody on that schedule that you look at and go, well, you can't beat that team. You know, every game, and that's all you can ask for. If you play well, all the games on the schedule are winnable there. And then that just leaves Coosa. And, again, right now Coosa doesn't have a head football coach. And I said this earlier. I'm not saying to press the panic button, but it's what is it today, July the 13th? Am I right on that? Today, July 13th, I believe it is. Yeah. That should be a concern. I mean, because, you're trying to prep and get everything ready. And we'll go through a few of these schedules before we get to hour number 2, which is quickly approaching. But going back and looking at recapping, didn't get to 7A. Phoenix City knocked off Thompson 21-19. Those have been the two giants in 7A football. Phoenix City finally gets the better of them again. Cam Coleman had a great game. But, Phoenix City not going anywhere with Patrick Nix. Thompson not going anywhere with Mark Freeman. But I do think Drew Gilmer moving to Hoover going to start putting them back in the conversation in 7A football, Scott. Drew, his record, it tells you everything about him at Clay Chalkville. I think he's one of the better coaches in the state of Alabama. He's proved that at his tenure at Clay Chalkville. And, I think with all the resources and the tradition of Hoover and as much winning as they've done in the last 25 to 30 years, he'll have Hoover back in the conversation.
Yeah, and they've probably had enough of seeing some of their surrounding area schools have that type of success.
They're at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that he'll do a great job, and as you said, they have the resources available to get it back on track. But it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to this football season.
Vestavia, man, again, last 2 years been really tough. Well, that whole area.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could easily from year to year go from 1 or 2 to 4 to 5, and just in those realm of Birmingham schools. So
right,
it's tough.
All right, up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance. With a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners, they honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. all at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tritoons and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City or online at alexcitymarine.com.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. Tony Sarah Ford has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Ford and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Right now, valued customers receive up to $4,000 on select 2023 F-150 trucks, plus 1.9% APR, or a new Bronco Sport for $393 a month, plus $750 bonus cash. Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga.
Coming down the stretch here, hour number one, got a whole nother hour coming up here, and we're going to be talking a lot of college football, SEC Media Days this coming up week in Dallas. We'll kind of set the schedule for that, kind of let you know who the reps are for everybody going to be showing, who's on the hot seat, who's not. I mean, there's some coaches that are. I mean, you look at some of these schedules. We'll be going through those schedules. We'll try to get through as much as we can. Not sure, but we got several weeks before the season starts. We got to cram it all into today, kind of pace ourselves. But Scott, going into the 2024 high school football season, and again, this is not meant to throw stones at anybody, but there's some programs here in our area that are looking to turn things around. They're looking to get back to traditional winning ways. Sylacauga, Tallahassee, you started to see a little bit of momentum for Sylacauga last year at the end of the year. Tallahassee's got a new coach, and we had him on, and everybody knows Coach O'Neill, his dad, Hall of Famer from Reeltown. He outstanding football player at Reeltown, a quarterback there. L.A. O'Neill's who I'm talking about, and went to Booker T. Washington as the head coach and took them to the third round of the playoffs last year, which, by the way, is the furthest they'd ever been in school history. He's going to – man, they're jacked up in Tallahassee about L.A. O'Neill being the head football. And, man, when he came up and did an interview with us, Scott, several months ago after he was hired, man, that's the guy you want to play for. And his philosophy about how he wants to handle things and get that tradition back at Tallahassee of winning. Look, I know he's a Reeltown guy, but he's got the purple and gold on now, and he's going to do everything he can to win for Tallahassee. And, man, they've got a great leader. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's all it takes is to get the right leadership there. Not an indictment on anybody before, but just some new freshness coming in and somebody who understands that rivalry too and understands what they're competing against. So I think Tallahassee will have better days ahead for sure. Yeah,
Patrick says, just imagine Auburn when they open up their second high school. What's going to go on down there? Yeah, that's in the works. Expanded. Probably 2 7A schools. I mean, in Auburn. That's how much that community has grown. And we'll definitely be covering that. It's supposed to be consolidating over in Chambers County, or the new high school there. That's, 2026, maybe 2027. You could see the consolidation of Lafayette and Valley into one school, and both of those have great history of winning in a lot of sports. Valley just won a basketball state championship a couple of years ago. Had another great season this year. Lafayette's won multiple state championships in basketball. Both from time to time put really good products on the field in football. We saw Booby from down there a few years ago, and we saw some really good talent at Valley the last couple of years. When you pull those two schools together, they're going to be a force over in East Alabama, whenever it does happen. So a lot of moving and shaking going on. Got, again, several teams coming over from AHSAA that I think are going to make an immediate impact, in AHSAA, and maybe not in football right out of the gate, but in maybe baseball, maybe basketball, maybe some of those sports on the girls and the boys side, softball, Glenwood being one of them, Lee Scott being another. They fall in that 2A, 3A, 4A-ish classification there. I think Lee Scott will be in Daville's region this coming up year. So they won the state championship in AHSAA this past year. I think they beat Glenwood to win it, if my memory serves me correctly. If I had it pulled up right there, they did. They beat them 24-14. So you got them both moving over to AHSAA, which not a cut on anything with AHSAA, but I just think they're trying to expand their opportunities and play maybe some more competition, because they've been winning games, both of them, lopsidedly. What happens with AHSAA, I don't know. They've tried to pull some other teams back in the mix, but we'll see how that all plays out over the next several years.
Yeah, and the thing too to look at where I could see these schools where it makes sense to go the AHSAA route is from a gate perspective. You automatically have some built-in rivalry,
no doubt.
Like a Horseshoe Bend and a Chambers. If that were you'd already have some of that built in, or Daville and Lee Scott or Glen, so they're already built in. So I think from a monetary standpoint, you start to build some more revenue within your athletic departments as well.
And that's huge. Lord, that's all we talk about on this show, right? On every level is how much money we gonna get. What we got to have this to be able to do this with our program. And we see it in college right now. It seems like that's all anybody talks about is where can we get more money. But that's the thing that you look at with a schedule in high school football. Why do you go out and schedule Opelika? Why does Opelika want to schedule Benjamin Russell with a chance to lose to a 6A school? And why does Benjamin Russell want to schedule a 7A school that has maybe a deeper roster? Well, you're going to play. You want to play a competitive game, but you also know what kind of crowd that's going to bring on both sides. So it's going to bring in better revenue. Scott, and we won't say one way or the other, but we've seen schedules and we've been to games. We'll just use Benjamin Russell, for example, where you go on the road and there'd be 20 people in the stands for the other team. And now we bring a crowd, but then when it's reciprocal and it's their turn to come to you, they ain't bringing nobody but the bus drivers. The bus drivers and the band is it. And so, you hate it, but that's a dead gate game for you. You've lost. Now you flip around and you have games like a Sylacauga and a Clay Central and an Opelika and those kind of games. A Homewood, everybody's showing up for that. And so maybe a little bit tougher region sometimes, but I like walking into a stadium and it being packed on both sides and the atmosphere. That's what you want. That's what you want to play in front of. If you're a player, you don't want to run out on the field and look over there and go, man, did people forget what time kickoff was? And there's nobody over there. So we've seen it where bands don't even show up.
Yeah. We went through a little stretch where when we were really rocking and rolling. I think we're back there now, but some of those years with Coach Horn, it would just be Ben Russell and Ben Russell.
Well, it was a scrimmage. I mean, that's what it ended up being. I mean, you had more to scrimmage. There'd be more people on the hill watching practice, and it would be at the game for some of those teams that showed up. But Jeff said Glenwood is at Elba in week 2. That'll be interesting. Elba, really good football program, obviously, and we know what they've got going on down there right now. But Glenwood, that'll be a berth into the AHSAA going down to Elba and playing that program right now. All right, up against the top of the hour break. Stay tuned, hour number 2, and a lot of college football coming up right now.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Since 1908, many talented tradesmen and women have proudly represented the Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air name. We are grateful for their commitment to excellence, always providing our clients with quality work that we're glad to guarantee with 100% satisfaction. No matter the problem, the Dixie Electric team is here for you, serving the Montgomery and Auburn areas. Thank you for choosing a locally owned company.
For more information, go to calldixie.com.
Call Dixie and it's done.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
At Majestic Caverns, we believe in the power of unforgettable experiences. At a cool 60 degrees year-round, America's most historic caverns guarantees an enjoyable escape. But it doesn't stop there. With over 20 above-ground attractions, including 5 new ones this year, and our Cave Cafe, which offers delicious drinks and plenty of food options. And don't miss our exciting event, Libertas. On June 29th, July 6th, and July 13th, enjoy live entertainment and much more. At Majestic Caverns, your unforgettable adventure awaits.
Welcome back, everyone, to hour number 2 of Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. I want to remind everybody you can go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're starting to get more and more subscriptions every week. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we'd love for you to do that. That's one way you can watch us. A lot of you watch us on Facebook Live. We appreciate that as well. And, of course, the way we've always been out there on TV statewide, Charter Channel 701, also on 97.5 Kalijah Country here in the Lake Martin area on the radio. So we appreciate it. We're fastly approaching year 20, Scott, of Sports Blitz programming. 20 years.
Let's see, I think I was 19 when I first started working with y'all, so
we were broke 20 years ago, and we're still broke. So, but anyway, we have a lot of fun, and it's again, thanks to all of you out there that support us and tune us in and watch and comment. We appreciate the interaction, no doubt. SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas, Scott. So just kind of your thoughts right out of the gate on that as SEC kind of heads west, knowing that Texas and Oklahoma were coming in, expanding into the conference. really the pull of that state in how rich in talent Texas and Oklahoma too, but for the most part Texas is, and the level of college and level of high school football out there. Very important to make a footprint there.
Yeah. I don't want to say olive branch, so to speak, but I think it was something like, hey, we're a welcoming to the league and kind of giving them a nod there. But not necessarily that excited that it's in Dallas, but I understand the reasoning behind it. But the same way Texas A&M and Missouri too, to an extent. But
right.
A few years ago, my wife's cousin, we went to Texas for this ball thing. Anyway, long story short, that I was listening to where all these people were going to school. We're in Texas, we were in Dallas,
right.
And so all these people, of the 20 girls that were participating in this ball, 16 of them were going to SEC schools. And so it made me think, it's like, all right, once you start to have that popularity and you build that
right.
pipeline like you saw with A&M, I think Texas takes it an even step further. I mean, you're looking at one of the top 5 programs all time in some people's eyes. So I can see where they make an immediate impact in terms of popularity, even taking it even higher in that portion of the country.
No doubt. I totally agree with you. The schedule for SEC Media Days starts on July the 15th, 9 o'clock. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey will open things up. Out in Dallas at 10 o'clock, the fake Southerner will hit the podium, Brian Kelly. Will anybody ever forget him at that basketball game? And I think even the LSU fans went, What is he doing down there? Is he mocking us or what? But the fake Southern, I mean, that guy's a little different, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. Now he's a good football coach. He's a little bit different.
He's Notre Dame, I thought, was a good fit for him always. Like that seemed like.
Why is it always Notre Dame that hires somebody that really had never graduated from college? That was hired
Charlie Weiss. Not Charlie Weiss.
No, it wasn't Charlie Weiss. The guy that ended up coming from Georgia Tech.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
O'Leary.
No.
Wasn't it O'Leary?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he didn't have.
Yeah. He lied. Yeah.
Well, he said he graduated. He never graduated.
Yeah,
I mean, and then Brian Kelly, and just the oddness of him. They've had some odd cats.
Yeah, they. Well, it's like that sometimes, but I think that this is kind of a LSU and Auburn are in the.
Just don't fake this accent, man. Every time and then he got in there and did that little dance in the recruiting video.
Well, I think he was. I think people try harder than they have to. Like everybody, the same thing is that got you successful there. It will be successful wherever you are. Now you may have to adapt to the talent pool.
We're glad to be at LSU. I mean, everybody went, "Whoa, don't do that."
I put that on their PR team too because they had to. Like I can almost.
Let me tell you, nobody knew he was about to go out there and do that. They were sitting over there. It looked like Anthony Blinken sitting in the front row when Joe Biden said his vice president was Trump. I mean, and the camera happened to be on Anthony Blinken, and when he said that, he went, "Oh, God." And the PR team for LSU went, when he got out there and tried to fake a Southern accent, they went, "Oh, God." Ugh. All right, LSU will be on the podium at 10, and players Garrett Nussmeier, the quarterback, Mason Taylor, and then Harold Perkins, who I thought had a down year last year. He emerged on the scene 2 years ago, and everybody thought, good Lord. Struggled defensively last year at LSU. Yeah. Couldn't stop anybody. He was really a non-factor in a lot of games. They rode the coattails, obviously, the Heisman Trophy winner on the offensive side, but their Achilles heel was defense. So we'll see how that plays out for LSU moving forward. But they expect him to kind of emerge back as the leader on that defense.
Yeah, and like I think this is very pivotal for LSU because Auburn, I think we're kind of in the same boat. They've had a little more success, but we're fighting on that same battle. And so with Texas and Oklahoma coming, now that puts even more pressure on you to kind of stay in that top 3 to 4 range of the conference. And so it's going to be tough. But I like LSU to be a little bit better than they were last year.
All right, then you got South Carolina, Shane Beamer. Let me just say this about Shane Beamer. The last since 18. He hadn't been the coach the whole time. But South Carolina's next to the bottom of the SEC in overall record, 33-40 during that time frame. Hasn't been much better with him there. Is he on the hot seat at South Carolina?
Probably, because I think there was some higher expectations for him than maybe what he's been able to deliver. But they've had some moments. They've had moments, but generally, it's been pretty bad. So I think so.
Here, look, I'm not a big Lane Kiffin fan. They'll hit the podium at 150 on day one. Jackson Dart, Trey Harris, Jared Ivey will be there. I'll say this about Lane Kiffin, and listen to the last 3 years of recruiting where they fall in composite ranking: 11, 11, and 11. And Ole Miss has been 43-30 since 2018, but the last 2 years, double-digit wins. I mean, he's done more with less. And he's doing it through the transfer portal. But, you know, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, I said this yesterday on Auburn Blitz. I never thought I'd use the word stability and Lane Kiffin in the same sentence. But somehow they figured it out. They've gotten that to work. So Lane Kiffin will have a very good team coming back this year. I think their schedule's semi-favorable for them to win 10-plus games again this year. We'll see, man. Could they get – I mean, it seems like playoff or bust for them this year. I mean, I think Ole Miss fans and I think the program is at a point where they haven't been in a long time, maybe since Eli Manning was there. And they never have made it to an SEC championship game. I don't think they make it this year either, but they don't have to make the SEC championship game to make the playoffs now that they expanded. I just feel that's where we are with Lane Kiffin in this group.
Yeah, and, I mean, if they have the type of success they've had over the last couple of years, you'd have to think they probably do get into the playoffs. And it really has you thinking, like, could this be a long-term home for him, which for the amount of time he's been, this is long-term for him. But, I mean, he maybe could – if with the expansion of 12 teams in the playoff, I think that a lot of people are looking at their current situation and saying, hey, you know, we got to get
Well,
shot.
and here's another thing, too, and I'll use Auburn as an example. Auburn, historically, way better program than Ole Miss. It's not even comparable. But the last 3 or 4 years, they're ahead of Auburn. I mean, there's nothing you can say. Ole Miss has won 43 games. Auburn's won 40 in that time frame. So, although it's only 3 more wins, it's still a little bit better. They are pushing the envelope, trying to get the playoffs for the first time. Auburn is too. If Auburn were to leapfrog them and somehow have a better year and get in the playoffs this year, that'd be a major gut punch. And a lot of people are watching the two philosophies that are going on right now with Auburn. Lane Kiffin trying to do it through the portal at Ole Miss, not even giving a rip about high school. I mean, that's why you see their composite ranking so low in the conference. Hugh Freeze, he's trying to do it the old-fashioned way. He's trying to go out and sign top 5 classes through high school and build longevity and stability that way. Which one will win out first? I mean, you know, it remains to be seen. So, in closing out day number 1, the poor Vanderbilt Commodores, who have been the doormat for so long, and there's definitely no hope now with the new structure of college football of them ever being competitive. So we come back, we'll run down the next couple of days at SEC Media Day. Stay tuned, more to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Going into day number 2. Day number 1, kind of, not the biggest spot. I mean, you got LSU there, but outside of that, and I guess Ole Miss is kind of interesting. But all right, day 2, you'll start with the SEC head of officials, John McDade. Probably go over new rule changes, some things like that. Then you got the head honcho Kirby Smart in Georgia at 9 o'clock, and then they're bringing Carson Beck, Malachi Starks, and Mikael Williams. So if they don't speed going over there and get pulled over for 3 more players again? I think 3 more players arrested.
I can't remember the number, but maybe it's been like since the thing
what
last
kind of driving school do they go through?
It's like 20-something kids or 20-something Georgia players have had some type of.
I'd seriously be scared for my child to be driving around Athens.
Yeah,
with the Georgia football team driving.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal because, one, it's the program it is. But, I mean, things just keep happening, and they've had an off season that has been a little tumultuous, but I'm sure it won't matter once the fall comes. But,
Is Carson Beck driving a Lamborghini? I think he is. That's
good for him,
I guess. All right, Tennessee will be up after Georgia. Josh Heupel bringing Cooper Mays, Keenan Pili, and Omari Thomas. So Tennessee, look, they're a team that's – I mean, they finally got over the Alabama hump a couple years ago. They're trying to get there. Can Josh Heupel get them there?
What's there in your mind? Like a SEC championship appearance or –
I think now, look.
Everything's playoff based.
Here's the deal. There's no West and East anymore. So you got to look at your path to get to an SEC championship. To me, that's harder than getting to the playoffs. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, because you can have maybe a 10-win season and get to the playoffs, but you're not going to represent an SEC championship game. So don't think with the way Georgia and the addition of Texas and and Oklahoma, if you want to throw them in there right now, I just don't think Oklahoma's on the same plane as and Colin Cowherd, by the way, let me just throw this out there. A year ago said he thinks Oklahoma will become irrelevant in the SEC. He thinks they'll become Nebraska. He said that if you look at where they are and you look at the competition now that they're going to be playing, and you saw Brent Venables a couple of years ago, I mean, it wasn't pretty. And having to compete against the other, if Florida gets back to being strong, if Auburn gets back to being strong, you got Georgia and Alabama, I don't think, going anywhere. Texas is going to get stronger, I think. A&M has a chance to get stronger. I mean, I can see his rationale that, nobody, when Nebraska was in the middle of their dynasty, if somebody would have said, hey, man, 20 years, y'all will be irrelevant in college football, they'd have run you out of town. They'd have said, you're the biggest idiot on the planet. When has Nebraska been relevant? I mean, it really kind of overnight. And he's basing it off of geographic location. And he's like, how are you going to pull somebody from Florida? You changing the whole – and your competition level's gone up. You're not in the Big 12 anymore. So, I mean –
there's some legitimacy
to that.
I think that you could probably name 5 or 6 schools in the conference before you got to Oklahoma. Maybe more than that. But
I'm not saying that the Vanderbilts and the South Carolinas and the Arkansas and the Mississippi State.
No. I'm saying on the flip end, I'm saying Georgia, Alabama,
you're talking about the hierarchy.
They're probably. Okay. I mean, you could legitimately say. I mean, Florida may be.
Best,
yeah,
7th.
Like that. They're in that Florida, Tennessee realm, probably.
Range,
yeah,
mid-tier.
So then that means you could go anywhere from 7 to 10, very quickly.
Well, I mean, again, it's kind of what I'm saying. So, but kind of going back to Tennessee, I think they have to. I think they need to make a playoff. I mean, that's where their program is too with Josh Heupel, and they keep recruiting at Tennessee.
See, I had
Tennessee's been very similar to us, Scott, in the last 4 years. 2020, I'll just say this: recruiting composite ranking for Auburn in the last 4 years, 8, 8, 8, and 9. So that is that's including Texas and Oklahoma now. That's out of 16 teams. You know what Tennessee's composite ranking is in that time frame? 9, 9, 9, 8. The one time that we were 9, they were 8, and the other times we were 8 and they were 9. So you can't get two teams talent-wise composite more even. Now Tennessee's record, 43-31 since 18. Guess what Auburn's is? 40-35. Very similar. Okay, so both teams trying to take that next step back up to where they want the program. So, I mean, I just see, and I think there's still a lot of hype around Josh Heupel. I think he brought winning that Alabama game a couple of years ago was big for them. But, that's starting to fade into the distance. How quickly we talked about 14 years will go by. We talked about that's how long it's been since Auburn won the national championship now. I mean, it feels like yesterday, but, man, you look up and it's 14 years ago. So I think there's high expectations at Tennessee to get to the playoffs.
And, the last segment we were talking about Ole Miss, and so you saying Ole Miss kind of needs to make that jump. Tennessee needs to make that jump. Auburn's looking to go. So in reality, even though the expansion has happened, now it's kind of very similar because you're still looking at, your top 2, Georgia, Alabama, they're going to be in there. But, of those other 10 spots, 4 of them probably are SEC teams. And so now where I thought it may be less pressure as a coach, it's maybe more pressure now because the expectation is, look, it's an easier path to get there.
Right.
So I don't know. But there are a lot of teams that are kind of flirting with getting back to their established pecking order or even trying to get into that pecking order. So it's –
I'm with you. And then following them up is Oklahoma, Brent Venables, and then Missouri, who, here's a unique deal. Missouri, phenomenal year last year. Listen to their last 4 years composite ranking: 15, 15, 15, and 12. Talk about a guy that's done more with less. Is Eli Drinkwitz. Got Luther Burden III coming back. You got Brady Cook coming back. You got Christian Williams coming back. He's taking all 3 of them. All of a sudden, Missouri looks like a playoff team.
People think that this is a good opportunity for them to make like that.
Now, dude, if he comes, look, Coach of the Year, tip your hat to what he's done at Missouri. And you can say what you want to. And some of these other teams hadn't been to the SEC championship game. Missouri's, since they joined the SEC, been twice. Now, they got the doors blown off by Auburn and Alabama.
Still.
But they made it.
Yeah.
And that's more than Kentucky's ever done, right?
Yeah.
And, Kentucky's another one. If you look at their record in the last since 18, they're 47-29. And listen to Kentucky's composite ranking during that time. 14, 14, 14, 13, 14, 13. Talking about more with less. You can say what you want to about Stoops.
He's the longest tenured coach.
Yes, he is. But Missouri will wrap up day number 2 on July the 16th. So that's a pretty big day. You got Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And then when we come back, we'll run down day 3 and 4. Both Alabama and Auburn will be attending day 3 and 4. All right, up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine, heat, and air. A couple more segments left here on today's show. Hey, man, we were pulling up some stuff, Scott, looking at this, and we got Florida coming up in day 3. You got Alabama headline in day 3, Scott. So just kind of talk about, the the Kalen DeBoer era starting and the pressure there for him. I mean, look, it is what it is. I mean, he's following Nick Saban. Somebody had to do it. Everybody said, who is going to be that guy? Ends up being a guy that actually played for a national championship last year. I think Alabama probably went out and did the best they could in getting the best coach they felt like's out there. I don't think anybody really – I mean, of course, the paycheck's great, but is jumping up and down to follow Nick Saban. So, Kalen DeBoer will open up day 3 at 9 o'clock, and he brings Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker, Malachi Moore. Just your thoughts on this season, the first one we've seen in a long time without Nick Saban, cruising the sidelines.
Yeah, first I'll say I think that the recruiting that he's been able to do has been phenomenal, and so the war chest is
They're
out.
number 2 in the country right now,
mean,
behind Ohio State, who has expanded a gap, my God, between them and Alabama. Even.
But I've had some conversations with the people where I've said I thought that this may be his most successful year that he has. Like that, I don't know how well it'll go. But saying all that, he could easily, if they mess around and go and win a SEC championship this year, then I hate to say it, like it could be another 15 years of this, and like it's just
it may never stop. I mean,
yeah, that may be
15 year, whatever. Alabama though, there was kind of when Nick Saban said he wasn't coming back, there were several guys that said they were leaving, and some did. I mean, Caleb Downs goes to Ohio, speaking of Ohio State. Lost a couple others, but they were able to keep Malachi Moore, keep Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker. So, again, the nucleus is there off of a team that went to the playoff last year. They're going to have a great recruiting class. I mean, another top 2 or 3 at the worst, I think.
What would be the panic number you think for Alabama fans? 9 wins?
No, I think 8 would be like, oh man, because Nick Saban's won double digits for so long. If you went 9 with their schedule, they got a tough schedule. Okay, I mean, let's just be honest about it. Nobody knows until the season gets started what kind of, if you're expecting Nick Saban, you're being unrealistic. And I think even Nick Saban understood the shift in college football. He wasn't going to be as dominant. I mean, just the shape of how things are and the difficulties of the schedule. 9-3, I think it probably gets Alabama in the playoffs with that record, with the very, very on the edge. Okay, 8-4, they're out of it, and that's when you look at winning 11, 12 games a year, dropping to 8, and that immense amount of pressure going into the next year, and the mentality of, is this guy? I mean, it just stirs questions. Now, if he comes in and wins 10 or 11, I think everything's just kosher.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I mean, 9, I think everybody's kind of going, okay, it was a tough schedule. First year, do we squeak in the playoffs? Okay, we're still okay. 8-4, you're not in the playoff. And you're wondering at that point. It just a lot of speculation moving forward. That's just natural way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if that's whoever follows Kirby at Georgia or vice versa. When you follow a guy like that, when Spurrier left Florida, it just you're gonna get that. All right, you talk about a precipitous drop. You go Alabama leaves and Mississippi State rolls in. Jeff Lebby, you talk about one of the biggest challenges. I mean, like you look at them at the bottom down here. They've been unstable for a while, and in this new era of SEC football, the Arkansas, the South Carolinas, the Mississippi States, they're trying to find their identity and where they fit in this, and how can they compete. So I think that'll be the questions that Jeff Lebby's ask is, what's your realistic goals this year and moving forward with Mississippi State? Do you think you can get Mississippi State to a caliber where they can win enough games to get in the playoffs? Can that happen now in this new era of college football.
I can't see. I mean, you get fortunate sometimes, and you get a Dak and, things like that.
Yeah, but that's a flash in the pan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, from a consistent – they may can go a year here or there where they're competitive, but I can't see the talent level matching the other teams, and I don't see it working out for them. I think they're going to be in that bottom tier, two or three teams in the conference for a while.
Then another team that really has people scratching their head is Florida. Billy Napier at 12:50. Then they take a break before the players come up there and welcome up the chief medical advisor for the SEC. Is that irony behind that, or is that a program on life support? That's kind of what I read into it. And then they got Graham Mertz, Shamar James, and Montrell Johnson, but they lose ETN to Georgia, which is a big punch to the face. And, they were able to get a few decent recruits in this class, but it's not to the point of what you think Florida should be getting out of that state, and they're not winning their state anymore. That's a big issue, and I definitely think Billy Napier's on the hot seat at Florida. I think, they have – and their schedule's awful. I mean, it really is. I mean, this looks bleak. Looks like Florida's headed for a change. I don't know. And then Steve Sarkisian will end the day at 2:20 with players Quinn Ewers, Kelvin Banks, and Jahdae Barron. So another playoff team. It's in his home state. They'll make a big splash. It'll be a big deal. And that's another thing. Florida sandwiched in between Alabama and Texas.
Yeah.
Is just like a mush pie. You know what I mean? It's like they just not a good draw for them. So especially them going right before Texas, everybody's kind of sitting on edge going, all right, can y'all just get off the stage? So that wraps up day 3, and then when we come back from break, we'll end SEC Media Days on July 18th, day number 4, and let you know that schedule. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
At Team One Hyundai, it's the Summer Savings Sales Event. All new Hyundais will be sold at employee pricing, plus an unheard of $1,000 bonus for your trade-in. See our huge selection of new and pre-owned inventory at team1hyundai.com. Don't miss the summer savings with employee pricing, plus a $1,000 bonus for your trade. Team One Hyundai of Gadsden, where the experience exceeds your expectations.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elliott City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Thunderbolt and Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Announcing Camping World's Inflation Buster camping program. You can now get into a new RV starting at just $98 a month. We won't let the economy steal your camping season. Take advantage of this very limited time offer and lock in your low monthly payment today.
All right, welcome back here to the Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Tony said, I have Missouri winning the SEC given their schedule. Boy, that'd be I don't know, would it be a shot? I mean, they won 11 last year or 10. But anyway, I mean, Brady Cook, dude. I mean, when you look at success, you look at quarterbacks in this league, and you look at teams that take a quarterback to SEC Media Days kind of as a barometer. Eli Drinkwitz, I mean, he's somehow gotten Missouri to the top of this league, and they have a veteran team returning, and that's with them with a composite ranking of 15, 15, 15, and 12 the last 4 years.
I want to see, though, with them, now that they've kind of got some attention on them, how do you do it now? Because they've been kind of away from that, and so they've been kind of able to do their own thing and sliding on the radar. I want to see what happens now that they've got that type of attention on them. Does that continue?
Tuck said this will be Napier's last SEC Media Day. I agree, Tuck. I agree that I think he's just done. I don't think their schedule is going to be the death knell for him.
When you
maybe wrong. But
at the rankings, too, we look, Miami's top 10 in recruiting rankings, and like that, some of these other Florida schools have kind of reemerged where Florida missed an opportunity to kind of put a death grip on it.
Let's look at Florida's schedule. Let's just kind of stop for a second and look. They open up with Miami. I mean, you hate to say a must-win out of the gate, but, I mean, this is who you're dealing with down there. Miami's on the rise. You know, they're recruiting better than you. They've got a better coach, I think, down there, and Mario Cristobal. Just a lot of pressure to win that game, and I don't know that they've got the team to beat Miami or not. So that game's at home. So if you let Miami roll into the swamp and start off on August 31st, it's bad situation. Then they got Sanford. Then they got Texas A&M. They got 3 home games. And then they go on the road to Mississippi State, and then they come back to Central Florida. You better watch out.
Mm-hmm. They could be 2-3 the first 5.
Well, he may not make it out.
So you're saying it could be?
Well, I mean, if he goes 2-5, I mean, let's be honest about it. With a loss to A&M, Miami, and Central Florida, and then then you got to go to Tennessee. Then you got Kentucky at home. Then you got Georgia, at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State.
Ooh,
Do you see them winning any of those games? All right. So you said at Central Florida they'd be 2-3, could be 2-3, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
you maybe
lost to Tennessee, lost to Kentucky. I think Kentucky's better than them, man. Georgia lost, Texas lost, LSU lost, Ole Miss lost, Florida State, they lose out. He's done. I mean, I don't see it. I mean, and this is going to be brought up, I mean, at Media Days. This schedule, he couldn't ask for what. The SEC went ahead and said, we're going to go ahead and help
We're going to help you out a little bit there.
All right, so then Florida, they're already going to be thinking about who they're going to get to replace.
In my mind, I've had Lane Kiffin in my mind for that job for a while, but I think not like what we were saying before. If you've already kind of got it going somewhere, and you only got to get is 12 teams.
Does he feel like though he can do more at Florida?
It would. I mean, I think that would be a really good fit for him. We've talked about him going places, but
he's been in that state before.
Well, I think he could do well, but really could.
He at Florida Atlantic or Florida International? He was at Florida Atlantic, wasn't it?
Florida Atlantic.
FAE. Yeah. All right, so day number 4, Arkansas, Sam Pittman. Boy, you talk about dead man walking. I mean, that's another one. Dude, I mean, if you look at what they've done over the past they're 27-45 since 2018. Talk about can't find an identity. How he survived last year, I don't know. Missouri, when we did, it was 48-3 at one point. And then Missouri every time I looked up, they were scoring a touchdown. And, like, the stadium was totally there was nobody there. I
don't think they'll ever get back. Like, that's one of the, like, we talk.
Not now with Texas and Oklahoma in the conference. It was already difficult. They always felt like they were on the peripheral. But, if Missouri can do it, why can't Arkansas?
Yeah.
That's the question. So, I don't know. Sam Pittman seemed to be the fit there a couple of years ago. He doesn't seem like that anymore. All right, Texas A&M at 11:05. You hate to say it, but Texas A&M left the Big 12 to come to SEC to get, and here comes Texas rolling back in.
Yeah.
They hate that.
Yeah.
It is like, dadgummit, now we're pushed down to obscurity again. They couldn't get it done, though, Scott. They could never get over the hump, even with a Johnny Manziel or something like that. Jimbo Fisher more than the gross domestic product average of the country, and he left the program in shambles like he did Florida State. They spent a boatload of money for no results. Now their big brother's coming into, we have to be hit with it as Auburn fans. Alabama's the big brother and all that. But this is, again, Texas A&M came to get away from that. Now Texas is coming back, and then you got cousin Oklahoma rolling in with them. To me, it's a nightmare for them.
Yeah, and going back to what you said, by them not ever getting a chance to even compete for an SEC championship, let alone make a playoff berth, they missed an opportunity to maybe elevate themselves. They had a little more cachet early on when they entered the conference over Texas, but now they're back.
Last 2 years, the number 3 recruiting composite in the conference had a losing record.
Wow.
Talk about doing less with more. Golly. All right, Auburn follows up Texas A&M. I think it's a very interesting year for Hugh Freeze. I think there'll be a lot of attention on Hugh Freeze. He's taken 3 really good players, Eugene Asante, Keldrick Faulk, Peyton Thorne. People may say really good players, Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne has proven he can be an elite quarterback. He did that at the Big Ten. Last year, again, comes in July, has to learn a new coaching staff, new team, a team that wasn't very good, a roster that wasn't very good. Maybe a little bit too much unfair criticism to him because Hugh Freeze tried to make that 2-quarterback system work, which we knew it wouldn't. When he finally turned the reins over to Peyton Thorne completed 60% of his passes, saved the Alabama game, but didn't play as good throwing the football but still played good enough to win the game. So I think you'll see a different Peyton. I hope you do. You got better targets, a more improved offensive line, but you got to quit talking about what the expectations are, and you got to start putting it on the field. And Auburn's got to start winning games. And look, Auburn's got to win 8 ball games this year. They got to win 8, and they got to push 9, and they got a schedule that fits that. Scott, they open up with Alabama A&M, Cal, New Mexico, and then Arkansas. You ought to be 4-0 going into Oklahoma coming in. And if you got some momentum, Oklahoma, that's a winnable game. Let's say you win that game, you're 5-0. Then you got the toughest stretch on your schedule. You got to go at Georgia, at Missouri, at Kentucky. Let's say you win one of those 3, okay? So now you're 6-2. Vanderbilt 7-2, Louisiana Monroe 8-2, A&M and Alabama. If you were to beat A&M, you could win 9. If you lose both of those, you go 8-4. This is a schedule where Auburn better go a minimum of 8-4. Anything less than that is just ain't getting it done, man. Period. And again, not to put pressure on Hugh Freeze, but this is where we are, man. If you want to start getting your recruiting classes to take that next step, if you want to go from the 11, 12, 13 mark to the 5, 4, 3 mark, then you got to win some games and prove, hey, look, we're here to stay. We got a process going. We're going to build up. You got to win 8.
I think
you got to win, and you need to win your dadgum bowl game.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet the 8, like we say it tongue in cheek from time to time, but like this legitimately is a year where, like, if
Auburn
we were to
finally
go,
has a favorable schedule.
Yeah,
it's not the 1 or 2 hardest in the league. It's the 14th easiest in the league out of 16 teams. We don't get that. We don't have Ole Miss. We don't have LSU. You know, those teams roll off, and we don't have Tennessee. We have Missouri, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. When you get those 3 teams, I know Missouri's good, but when you get that, you'll take those 3 teams more than you would Florida, Tennessee, and LSU, right?
Yeah.
On a year in and year out basis. Got to win, man. I think that's the deal. And then closing out, if anybody's left in Dallas, if Ann Hardy packed up, Kentucky will hit the stage at 2:25 with Mark Stoops. And look, you know, laugh, whatever. Kentucky in that time frame of 2018, 47-29. So not bad for Mark Stoops with a composite ranking of 13, 14, 13, and 14 over the last 4 years. So out of 16 teams. All right, up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Welcome back, everyone, to Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. That's Media Days. Went through the start to finish. That starts this coming up week out in Dallas. We'll be covering that on the Auburn Blitz each and every day this coming up week. Looking forward to it. Again, you know, Auburn trying to take that next step. Alabama with a new coach for the first time in umpteen years with no Nick Saban. Guys like Billy Napier and Sam Pittman. What's their future look like? Doesn't look very good. You got a new coach at Texas A&M. You got the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. This is a star-studded, action-packed media days. Media days kind of takes a little bit the shine has been removed because of social media and recruiting services and staying up, because used to you break news at SEC Media Days. Well, now there's nothing to break. It's kind of go through the motions. Now you got a lot to talk about this year. The new structure of the SEC, some rule changes. Should be fun, man.
No, I'm really looking forward to it. We were talking about it in the first hour about high school and being excited for that, but the two sports, because of the landscape of NIL and all that, the two sports really are kind of tied together. So they're all together. The same players you've been reaching out to, the same guys you're waiting to see if they're going to produce on the next level. So I'm really excited, and as an Auburn fan, it's the first time where I've really gone into a season with some optimism of not being complacent, of just saying, hey, I understand we got a tough schedule, all that. Now, all the things are aligning for Auburn to have a good year. Interested to see what happens with DeBoer. Interested to see what Texas and Oklahoma. There's just a lot of good happening with the conference, and this is what makes the SEC the best. And so, as you said, 10 years ago, SEC Media Days was phenomenal. Not that it's not now, but now there is something to look forward to this week.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think very important SEC Media Days for Auburn and Alabama for different reasons. Can Alabama stay at the top of the conference? I mean, they're recruiting like that. It's a new day. It's a new era. There'll be pressure on Kalen DeBoer to perform. They got a tough schedule. And can they keep pace with Georgia, who seems to have kind of – and the odd thing about it seems like Georgia's taken the mantle from them, but I think Georgia's 1-4 against them in the last 5 games that they played. And then on the flip side of that, can Auburn take the next step? Is Auburn building back to be in the top echelon of this conference? Are they going from the 7th, 8th kind of team in the conference? Do they want to be mentioned in the top 4 again, up with Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and us maybe being in that talk? I mean, really, historically, that's where we are. Yeah. You want to get back there. So it's going to be fun. A lot to look forward to over the next several weeks as we roll into preparation for high school and college football. But we appreciate everybody joining us on this Saturday. We'll be back with you next Saturday for another edition of the Saturday Sports Countdown. Hope all of you have a great weekend out there. For Scott Hardy, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know the only thing hotter than the summer on the lake is the hot incentives with all Mahindra tractors and farm implements and tough Spartan mowers. Right now, get the year's hottest deals on Mahindra with financing up to 84 months or 0%. Speaking of zero, see the huge selection of zero-turn Spartan mowers with 0% interest, financing up to 60 months. See the lake's authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer, Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, for deals that sizzle all season long.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state, and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Summertime is a special time. Time on the water, time away from work, and more time with family and friends. Make sure your heart is ready for the season with an appointment at the UAV Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sublett, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/HeartRussell.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance, with a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners. They honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.